Hey friends, we wanted to include this special video to talk about something that's been really useful for us in understanding the evolution of a relationship, and it's called the 4 stages of relationship. So let's get into it.
So this was adapted from A Course in Miracles and our teacher, Phil Musselberger, where we go through the 4 stages of relationship in any relationship, but it tends to be a lot stronger when we are in a romantic relationship. So the first stage is going to be one you're familiar with, probably all of our favorite stage in some cases, which is the honeymoon phase. The honeymoon phase is when we are initially attracted to that person. There's a lot of happy hormones and chemicals running through our bodies, and we might almost be totally blind to what's going on around us, or to maybe some of the nuances that are happening inside of the connection with that person, because we're really just focused on seeing them as the answer to our prayers. So we call this, the one. Like, this one is going to be different. This one is going to be everything I wanted, and they're going to meet all of my needs.
And on a very practical level, the honeymoon phase is really just an exploration. You're getting to know each other, you're experiencing each other, maybe you're exploring each other's bodies.
We really see the authentic self come out because the guards are down and our hearts are really open and we're really excited, and we have all of these chemicals that are flooding our bodies, telling us to move towards that person and sort of put on our best face. So the honeymoon phase is an interesting one because we are more of our authentic selves than we will be possibly later on in the relationship. So when we transition into that deeper place where life starts to get a little bit more real, maybe we have committed deeper, maybe we've moved in together, maybe we've gotten married, we move into what they call the power struggle phase, which is where our egos or our adapted self starts to come through because there's more at stake, there's more at risk, and there's also higher expectations. And so we tend to start to feel guarded or protective, or we start to notice those little things that we don't like, or we start to see things that freak us out, and then we're like, oh, what happened? I thought this was the one, and now it's all coming apart again. And the power struggle phase really is that stage where conflict begins to shake us awake if we let it. And that's a lot of what this course is about, is really learning how to navigate the power struggle in a self-loving way.
This is a phase where we're a little bit more exposed. Yeah, maybe we've moved in together, and we're starting to see each other all throughout the day in all the different phases, rather than this more like polished view, this more exciting view. We are settling into more of the monotony of life, and that shiny exterior has worn off. And in the beginning, we can kind of like deify and see each other as gods. And in the power struggle phase, we're starting to see each other as more human and normal and regular. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, some of our perhaps more unappetizing, uglier sides are starting to show themselves. How we react to stressful situations, how we are in conflict. Some stuff that we maybe are embarrassed about or ashamed about is starting to be seen by our partner. And as we're moving closer to them, our ego wants to protect us from that level of vulnerability. And so we start to clash, we start to fight about things. And we start jockeying for power and sovereignty in the relationship. Like, I need my own space and my freedom. At the same time, I want to be close to you. So there's this like push and pull really that starts happening a lot. And it can be a phase where a lot of relationships explode, right? Yeah. So relationships that end in the power struggle phase, they end in a big way. They blow up.
Mm-hmm. And if we use that opportunity that's coming up as a time for growth, as a time for getting to know each other better and really deepening in our intimacy and connection, then we can transform that power struggle into the 4th stage of relationship, which is true partnership or conscious relationship, sacred relationship. Mm-hmm. But if we don't, if we stay in the power struggle, we'll either explode, like Ben said, and the relationship will end, Or we move into what we call the dead zone. And this is where relationships don't necessarily end in the physical sense. Like maybe we stay married, or maybe we stay living together, or we stay in relationship, but we sort of lead separate lives. We don't have any intimacy, we don't have any depth, we don't have any safety anymore. So maybe we've learned that we can't bring our feelings to our partner, so we just stopped doing that. It's sort of like the death of the relationship on an emotional and spiritual level, but you're still physically in it. You can wake up from that and you can move into true partnership no matter what stage you are in, because there's always something there for you to learn from your partner. So if you both are willing and you both want to deeply engage these practices, no matter where you are, you can re-energize and wake your partnership up and go deeper together. Now, the interesting thing is that maybe you'll get to true partnership and then something will happen where one of you gets triggered or a new lesson comes and you might find yourself back in the power struggle. Ben and I really go through these ebbs and flows in our relationship where, we are in true partnership for a while and then boom, we're back in the power struggle. And we've had months on end where we're traveling in Mexico and the entire trip is the power struggle. And we're like, oh my gosh, what is happening? But then we work through it and we deepen in our commitment to one another and we learn something and we grow through it. And then we find ourselves back in that more harmonious space. So that's relationship. That's the 4 stages. This whole program we've designed is to help you learn how to navigate the power struggle and get to true partnership where you can be friends together and where you can love each other whole and really show up as partners in each other's healing and just allies in life.
So that's the 4 stages of relationship, and we'll see you in the next session.